So folks, I have got one single piece of good news for you after today's budget. There is going to be a 1.7% cut in draft duty, which Rachel Reeves says means that you will get, drumroll, 1 penny off your pints in the pub. How exciting, ladies and gentlemen. What a great distraction from the 40 billion in tax hikes that this country is now seeing. Supposedly that is the highest tax hike in 30 years in a budget. What is going on in this country, ladies and gentlemen? This really is turning into some sort of socialist hellhole, and for some reason Rachel Reeves thinks giving us a penny off our pints is going to keep us all happy. I know I've tried to start this video on a cheery note, but it's about to get pretty miserable, so buckle yourselves in, ladies and gents. So what else is going on in this budget? Well, in case you couldn't be bothered to watch the whole thing because it's pretty boring and long, let's just summarise it. Tax hike. Employers' national insurance. You guys will have heard about this because of the controversy on is this a tax hike on working people. So that's going up 1.2 percentage points to 15% from April 2025. But apparently business owners aren't working people, so that doesn't count according to them. Oh, capital gains tax. Up that goes. Another rise. Beautiful graphics made here by the Times, may I add. What about non-doms? Oh, yep, more tax for them. And when they're bringing their money to the country for the first year, they don't get a 50% discount. That's gone. They'll go from paying nothing to paying pretty much everything. What about those evil people that drill for oil and gas in the North Sea? Oh, a tax hike for them. What a surprise. And guess who that will be passed on to? Oh, the people that buy oil and gas, the people that buy petrol at the pub. Oh, those are working people. What a surprise. And I thought that this comment from a think tank was pretty good. Just on this question of, are they breaching their manifesto pledge not to raise taxes on working people? Well, this guy, Paul Johnson, he was speaking to GB News here. He says that the 40 billion of tax rises would actually mostly be covered by working people. It's not just all going to be covered by rich billionaires. I hate to break it to you, ladies and gents. I think you'll probably be paying more in tax than the money you save from the 1 penny off your pints. Hate to break it to you. Now, he says the OBR suggests that 3/4 of the impact of employer national insurance will be felt by employees, even if the changes don't show up on pay slips. Indeed, these tax rises partly explain why the OBR has downgraded its projections for real household income growth over the next few years. Somebody will pay for the higher taxes, largely working people. There you go, ladies and gents. This is a Labour government full of lies. And Rishi Sunak was actually, for once, on fire today. Listen to his scathing attack on Rachel Reeves' budget.
Madam Deputy Speaker, on the day that he took office, the Prime Minister said that he wanted to restore trust to British politics with action, not words. Well, today, his actions speak for themselves, with a budget that contains broken promise after broken promise, and reveals the simple truth that the Prime Minister and the Chancellor have not been straight with the British people. Time and again, we Conservatives warned Labour would tax, borrow and spend far beyond what they were telling the country. And time and again, they denied they had such plans. But today, the truth has come out. Proof that they planned to do this all along. Because, Madam Deputy Speaker, today's budget sees the fiscal rules fiddled, borrowing increased by billions of pounds, inflation-busting handouts for the trade unions, Britain's poorest pensioners squeezed, welfare spending out of control, and a spree of tax rises they promised the working people of this country they would not do. National insurance, up. Capital gains tax, up. Inheritance tax, up. Energy taxes, up. Business rates, up. First-time buyer stamp duty, up. Pensions tax, up. They have fiddled the figures. don't like it, but this is the truth. They have fiddled the figures. They have raised tax to record levels. They have broken their promises, and it is the working people of this country that are going to pay the price.
Absolutely brilliant there from Rishi Sunak. I think that's the most on fire he has ever been at the dispatch box, to be honest. Normally he's not that exciting, but that was pretty impressive. Let me know in the comments what you think about this budget. How is this going to affect Britain? How is this going to affect you as a working person, as I'm sure many of you are? I think it's pretty scary stuff. And the thing is although we've talked there about all the tax hikes, Rachel Reeves has announced a lot of money injections into, schooling, housing, education, which arguably have been needing investment for some time. But she claims that her biggest priority is growth. How the heck is this economy going to grow with 40 billion in tax hikes? You are going to push all the wealthy people out of this country. You may hold an investment summit, but that's just a little sticking plaster. That ain't going to do anything. And now the OBR after this budget, they are saying that the economy really is not going to grow much after this budget because, surprise, surprise, people don't like tax. People leave the country and don't invest their money here if you hike up taxes. But, Labour don't really know basic economics. Rachel Reeves doesn't know basic economics. I mean, she writes her book using copy-paste from Wikipedia. So what can you expect? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you see this before 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening, make sure you tune in to Reasoned Live, our podcast, 8 to 9 p.m, because we will be breaking down the budget even further, having a big debate. You don't want to miss it, so tune in for that. I'll see you guys then.